You're welcome back. Now, consumer advocacy group CATS International is urging the Ghana Statistical Service to begin tracking and publishing standard import prices for selected goods at the ports along with the corresponding profit margins. The group believes such a move will enhance price transparency and serve as a practical tool for consumers in avoiding inflated prices. The call comes in the wake of the Cedi's recent appreciation against the US dollar, an upward trend which, according to CATS International, has yet to meaningfully reflect in prices on the market. Daniel Odrumensa has more.
And late May 2025, the Ghanaian cedi strengthened from around 15 cedis to 10 cedis 20 pesos per US dollar, marking a 32% gain. Analysts credit the rebound to improved performance in traditional exports and higher remittance inflows, both of which have boosted the country's foreign reserves. But has this currency appreciation led to noticeable price relief for consumers, especially in key sectors like clothing? Quenin Asante-Boateng, a veteran importer of second-hand clothing with nearly 3 decades of experience, confirmed that prices have indeed seen a dip. However, he noted that sustained cedi stability is needed for long-term impact.
Cedi no dollar no eso. Nti aboaye ama enema no sika na nka first no yesesa de kwa ama no ne ekokokra ne ma ne ba no eso ati na ne wo mu ene se ye hwe kwan se ebetimi agina be se bosome mienu miensa eko enan no ne ma na ebi wo a na 1000 ebi aba 800 ebi aba 700 ebi nso a 2000 aba 1005 and scientists so any na agina sania eniema no esitie na ama yatetete eniema no so efa we yen kwala eniema first nanka yedeje 3000 ba ele yedeje 2500 and am bi say dem eniema first no nanka 2000 ele yedeje 1006 and 1007 tisana ye no.
Retailers across the country share that view, calling for continued appreciation of the cedi, which they say would trigger broader price reductions across the country.
Se dollar into me jina na so say ya ebe boa ma yen retailers no yetimi atete na so because importers no so bete wo mo de so na ama edwadi mu ahode na timi agina ho se ya atete so yi wan to boa se ya na we yetum biwa e de o ha beba na biwa akra ne makra so meduye ene madada no na wo system no eno nti ehu behia se government ebe boa na cedi no a anya hoden kakra no a ama dollar na ba fom no ebetimi atena hwache.
At Abusi Okai in Accra, spare parts dealers say up to 80% of their stock could see substantial price drops if the cedi continues its current trajectory. Tichiado, head of communications for the Abusi Okai Spare Parts Dealers Association, confirmed the optimism among traders.
It will be very difficult for generally to read their goods and services. But I can tell you, it will be very possible for at least 80% will read their goods and services by end of July. Yes, 80%. If you are still going to follow the same trend, if the same trend you are seeing for the trend because the dollar is between 10 and 12 cedis. You are still for the trend. By end of July ending, you will see 80% reduction of goods and services.
Meanwhile, Alexander Roosevelt, chairperson of Parliament Trade, Industry and Tourism Committee, is encouraging the Bank of Ghana to keep a close watch on forex flows and global trade trends to help sustain the cedi's momentum.
The Bank of Ghana must monitor the flow of the dollar and look at the business trend internationally and locally to ensure that the dollar does not overflow the cedi anywhere, just to give rise to the past situation we found ourselves in. You can see that government is not interested in borrowing. That is one other area that we can fall into a trap. But fortunately, government is no longer interested in borrowing, and that will also save us.
Apia Kusi Adomakun, West African Regional Director for CATS International, insists that tracking import prices and profit margins is essential for consumer protection. He says greater transparency would expose excessive markups and promote fair pricing across the board.
If statistical service says that iPhone 14 Pro Max, the import price, added duty and profit margin, it should be, let's say, 8,000 Ghana cedis on the average. But then when you go to the shop and it's being sold at, let's say, 14,000 Ghana cedis, then people will begin to ask questions. And once we have that information is thrown out, it also sent to kill the information asymmetry, because the seller has more information about the price build-up than the consumer. So if the statistical service comes in with this information, I'm sure that it can kill this mischief, and then we can see prices coming closer from high to what, a marginal level of pricing.
So for the traders, a sustained appreciation of the local currency throughout the year would significantly impact on the prices of goods and services. They are thus calling on the government to adopt measures that will sustain the strength of the local currency. For ChannelOne News, I am Daniel Udro Mensah.